In section 7.3, we're going to work on defining and using zero, exponents that are zero, and also exponents that are negative numbers. So this is our learning objective, to use zero and negative numbers as exponents. And our key vocabulary here is reciprocal. And if you remember, if I have a value a, its reciprocal is 1 over a. Okay, reciprocal and inverse are essentially the same thing. So if you want to take a look at some of these ideas, any number to the 0 power is equal to 1 except for 0. Okay, so 0 to the 0 power is not equal to 1. All right, and the way that might look is 5 to the 0 power is equal to 1, 6 to the 0 power is equal to 1, 7 to the 0 power is equal to 1. Okay, so that's also something you want to look out for in the SAT if you've got calculating to do in the exponents, and also maybe in a set of parentheses. If the exponent works out to be 0, you don't have to do the things in the parentheses. It's going to equal 1. Okay, if we have a to the negative n power, it's the reciprocal of a to the n. So basically what I'm doing is I'm putting 1 over the item and changing the exponent to be positive. Okay, so 2 to the negative 1 power is equal to 1 over 2 to the first power, or 1/2. And a to the n is the reciprocal of a to the negative n. Okay, that's just the converse of what we just said there. Okay, so if you look at how this works, if I have negative 3 to the negative 1 power, that's going to be 1 over negative 3 to the first power. And 3/4 to the 0 power is equal to 1. Okay, continuing on. Properties of exponents, we've already been through these already. So these are the product, which we went through in 7.1. If I multiply items with the same base, I add the exponents. And if I'm multiplying items with different bases but the same exponent, I can actually combine the bases. Then we had the quotient items where we were dividing. Those were in 7.2. Right? And also we had the power of a power property that was also in 7.1. So just a rehashing here of the properties you've already learned. Multiplying with the same base, add the exponents. Dividing with the same base, subtract the exponents. If I have two items with the different bases but the same exponent, whether I'm multiplying or whether I'm dividing, I can actually just leave the exponent alone and work with the bases. And when I take a power to a power, I multiply the exponents. So here I've got items with the same base. I'm going to add my exponents. This is going to be negative 2 plus negative 3 is negative 5. Okay, now here, what's interesting is if I split these into 3 separate fractions, 1/8, 1 over x to the negative 2, 1 over y to the negative 6, this is going to be 1/8, and the inverse of this is just x squared, and y to the 6th, and this is the way this simplifies out. Okay, and final example here, when we're working with individual items, what I like to do is I like to think of thinking of the items as being in columns. So for instance, I have coefficients, I have powers of x, and I have powers of y. I'm going to deal with them all separately. First I have to deal with this exponent, so I'm going to have 12 x to the 8th, y to the negative 7th, and then I'm going to square everything, so 4 becomes 16, x to the negative 2 becomes negative 4, y to the negative 6 becomes negative 12. And now I'm going to break these into 3 different parts, and I'm going to work with them individually. I know that 12 is 3 times 4, and 16 is 4 times 4, so I'm going to cancel these 4s, and I'll get 3/4. 8 minus negative 4 is 12. And negative 7 minus negative 12 is 5. Working on this next problem, I could say, I can do this a couple of different ways. I've got 16, and I've got 2 to the negative 3 over 2 squared. So negative 3 minus 2, that's going to be 2 to the negative 5 power. Now, 16 is a power of 2 as well. So 2 to the first power, 4 to the second, 8 to the third, 16 is 2 to the fourth power. Right now, when I'm multiplying with the same base, I add them. So 4 plus negative 5 is negative 1. And 2 to the negative 1 power is 1/2. And I'm fully simplified. Okay, and that's working with negative and positive, or negative exponents and exponents that are 0.